We're doing a mock draft. It's ESPN points. I'm picking at number 3, Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and my sciatica is acting up. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. And we are available on all platforms. Of course, you've seen the news by now. LeBron James with that nerve irritation in his glute. Turns out to be a sciatic nerve issue. He will miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. I think longer. I was already, and I received criticism for this, I was already not including LeBron James in my top 25 players because I do not want to rely upon a player who is 41 years of age. Right? I didn't want to do that. Now, he is clearly not a second-round player. I am now at the stage, at his age, with this injury, which we're talking nerves, spine, legs, not top 50. He might be back in 4 weeks, fine. He might be. But no way that I'm taking him in the top 50. Beneficiaries for LeBron, Luka and Reeves. Reeves very clearly third round. I was already taking him in the third round. I've had people ask me, hey man, does Luka push up to number 4 now? Bro, he was already there. Like, that's what's happening. But if you want deeper guys, Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, who's probably still 14-team categories, 12-team points. I think Marcus Smart is washed, so I'm not that worried about him. But that's the fallout from that. We're doing an ESPN points mock here, so it'll be very interesting to see where LeBron goes in this sort of setup, but we will get into that in a sec because we're going to get these things out of the way before we come in and do this mock draft. Today's episode, it is brought to you by Prize Picks. We are here with so many sports seasons starting in full swing, and every day we make decisions, but when we make those decisions on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. That is P, not L. Paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is a fun way and a simple way to add excitement to the sport that you're watching. You just pick more or less on player projections. Josh Allen passing yards, Saquon Barkley touchdowns. Who else? Tyreek Hill. Well, he's not playing anymore, so you don't want to bet more or less on him. You just pick these ones and put them together. Now, you've also got the stack feature where you can add multiple projections for a single player together. Their passing yards, their rushing yards, their touchdowns. You can put that all for the one player into one lineup. So download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. All right, so we are here doing an ESPN points mock draft. We're doing 10 teams, and I am picking at number 3 in this mock draft. I've still got a few more little sponsors notes to mention before we get into it, because I don't like to interrupt the flow of a mock draft, but that was the big news there on LeBron. There was an injury update on the dominatrix VJ Edgecombe as well. He's questionable, and we also got the thing that I thought would happen, Ja Morant saying, yeah, no, he's fine. He's playing opening night, which is everything that I assumed, so just be cautious about overreaching on Ty Jerome or Scott Pippen, so it looks like Morant will be fine for opening night. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quo. You might have heard me talk about Quo because it used to be called OpenPhone. It's one of the tools that makes a huge difference for business owners. There's the same great phone system that you've heard me talk about before. It's just got a new name. And that's why, here's why it matters. Because every missed call in business is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7, and that is exactly what Quo does. It's the number one business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or relying upon that landline. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That is quo.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you've got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls and no missed customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is here, the NFL season is here, and FanDuel's got an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's easy. You pick a bet, $5 goes down, you win it, you get $300 in bonus bets to use right across the app. It might be on same game parlays, on spreads, on totals, on straight ups, on futures, cross-board parlays, live in-game betting. You can do all that on FanDuel, and it's simple to do. You just got to download that app, put your knowledge to the test, and check out all the great promos that appear on that FanDuel app. So, what are you waiting for? Go to FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and to get started. All right, let's get into this draft. I'm picking at number 3. I've got a 10-team ESPN mock. That is their default size. It's ESPN default point scoring. Obviously, it's not on ESPN. The Fantrax platform is just a lot easier to handle. And I don't want to go by trying to judge the ESPN ADPs and ranks because they're garbage, obviously. And in a lot of real drafts, that's just not going to be anything you need to look at. And I think there's more value in a mock draft of me showing you how I value players or talking about how I value players versus, well, this guy's ranked at 100 and he's a top 30 guy, so, wait till 80 because it's just not a realistic thing. But I think doing these drafts like this gives you an overview of how I look at these players and their positioning. All right, I'm at 3. I'm going to go with Giannis if he slides to me. Otherwise, it's Wemby or Jokic, depending on what Sam does. Here to start this draft, he goes with Jokic, which is no surprise there. Wemby goes 2. That means Giannis for me at 3. So, some would say, would you take Luka now over Giannis in an ESPN points because of the LeBron injury? I would not. I would still take Giannis there, and then Luka and Shea would be my next 2 picks. Shea goes at 4. Luka, I am certain, is going to go at 5. There he goes. That is the standard 5 in any draft. Giannis is a locked-in 5 for category leagues, but for points leagues, he moves up, obviously, where I picked him, and that's really the only... that's why I lose my voice. But if you want to take Luka or Shea, go for it. Whatever. If you want to switch their order, go for it. You want to switch Wemby and Jokic, go for it. You want to put Shea at number 1 in category leagues, go for it. You want to put Giannis at number 2, go for it. I don't think it has as disastrous an impact as what you may think. Interestingly, Trae Young goes at number 6, and maybe interesting to you is I think it's actually the right pick in an ESPN points league. Cade goes at 7. I actually think that is the correct pick as well. Anthony Edwards is not as good in an ESPN points league. Last season, he was 19th in that format. I would not have taken him there. I would have taken Devin Booker ahead of Anthony Edwards. A reminder, again, understanding your format and the scoring system is key. Edwards was not, and you're going to need a big jump to get him into that first round top 8 area for ESPN points. Booker goes at 10. Harden goes at 11. I don't believe I would have... No, I definitely wouldn't have taken Harden there. Sabonis next is also one that I don't think I would have done. But again, to be fair, Sabonis was ranked 13th last season in this format. I don't think I would do that, but that's also okay. Durant is what I would have taken next, and then he goes. And now we get to the difficult decisions, I think, of what you do with Zion Williamson, because I think he's a top 10 per game player for this format. I would love to get him back in my 3rd round pick. I don't know that I will, but I would love to do that. Karl Anthony Towns goes next. Now, Towns in ESPN points last season was 11th. I don't think he's 11th, but the difference between 11th and 18th is not that big. The Giddy pick is strong. I wanted to do that with my 2nd round pick. I like that selection. We're getting into Tyrese Maxey, Amen Thompson, Donovan Mitchell type territories. There goes Men at number 16. Now, I'll just throw Mitchell and Steph into the queue. Maxey is who I want. There goes Steph. All right, so this, I don't really think I've drafted Tyrese Maxey anywhere. He was 14th per game in ESPN points last season. So I will take him there, which I am happy about. Now, again, is it worth taking Zion at my next pick, which is 23? Or would I wait for him at 38? Because I think he's top 10 per game. In the end, I think I won't do it in round 3. This is a 10-man draft, but I can understand that risk-reward upside pick there, because that is a top 6 player. I also would be considering Ja Morant, who is going to be ready for opening night and is a top 20 guy. Şengün goes next. He's been great in preseason so far. It is preseason, but whatever. That's a solid pick. Now it's Sam. After he took Jokic 1, he goes with Bam 2. I don't... Bam? No, that's not one I would do. So Jalen Johnson's next at number 22. So now it's me. So look, I am debating. Do I do Zion? I don't think I will. Do I do LaMelo? Maybe. I think I'm going to take... I'll take Mobley there. Leave these injured guys a little bit later. So I could take the guys I have at the top of my list. Morant, Zion, Kawhi, LaMelo. I'm leaving all of those for now. But any of them, if you've got the balls, if you've got the nutsacks to be able to do that, all of those guys make sense at the start of the third round. Zion, Morant, LaMelo. There goes LaMelo there, one after me at 24, followed by Banchero at 25. Now, if it does swing back around to me and the Zion, Morant, Kawhi grouping falls to me, I will be considering that. After Banchero goes Jalen the Bronco Williams, he was what was he ranked last season? 27th in this format. Fine. Jalen Brunson was 22nd. I think Brunson is going to lose out this season under Mike Brown. Well, there goes Zion. Really good pick. I didn't like your Anthony Edwards pick. My guy, I'm Barker Mike. But the Zion pick, honestly, it is conceivable, probably likely that Zion outperforms Ant Edwards' fantasy points per game. But it's per game. Scott Barnes goes next, followed by Cooper Flagg at 30. Wow. Flagg at 30. That's... In this format, I'm just looking, I do not have Flagg that high. Nah, no way. That is way too early for me. Holy crap. Yeah, all right, that's early. After Flagg goes Siakam, and then it's Chet Holmgren, who, again, I don't like Chet there. It's too early. Now, old mate, I'm Barker Mike, can take Morant here, which would make a lot of sense, but it is risky to pair him with Zion. Now, I am going to be taking Morant if he comes back to me at my selection. Well, he takes the Headmaster at 33 instead, which is it's a good pick. It's a good pick. I like it. M. Diddy takes Zubats, number 14 ranked legend, if it's a Zubats, who honestly, like at 40-ish, it's fine. It's marginally early at 34. I don't think I would do that, but it is fine. And then Denny Avdia, bench legend. Denny Avdia, overrated legend, Denny Avdia. And it is possible for me to like Denny in fantasy and still think that he's incredibly overrated as a player. Same with Josh Giddey. I don't think that they're guys that lead you to significant success. I don't think they are future all-stars or faces of the franchise. It doesn't mean I don't like their fantasy value for this particular season. After Denny went LeBron, I wouldn't have done that. Jaylen Brown is next, and now it is my selection, and I probably want to make a pick. Oh, I've already told you what I'm doing. I'm taking Ja Morant there. All right, let's take Morant at number... What pick is that number? Number 38. I think Morant is a top 15... Top 15? Why did I say it that way? Top 15-ish sort of a player for this season. Obviously, risk involved. I may look at his teammate, Jaren Jackson, on the flip back around if he is there. Derek White was also someone I looked at. He just went at 39. Austin Reeves also absolutely has to be starting to go here. Not only is LeBron missing the start of the season, but this injury is one that can be a problem, and it might lead to more maintenance and ramp-ups and all of that stuff for LeBron. Now, I really doubt that Reeves is going to last these next two picks to me, but if he does, that is who I'll be taking. I'm also going to throw Kawhi into my queue. Jaren just went, so I can't do that. He went at 40 after Derek White went at 39. Jim Butler. Well, all right. I had Butler not far off this, but it's not what I would have done. Chris Silver, don't break my heart and take Austin Reeves. He took Austin Reeves. I'm going to select... I'm going to select Miles Turner there. Miles Turner, with the additional bonus you get in ESPN points leagues for blocks, I think works at this spot. Now, there are guys like Kawhi, Tyler Hero, Kristaps Porzingis that I would have considered here. Even like a Walker Kessler's quite a good ESPN points league guy who was 59th last season. But there's a lot of risk associated with those guys. Franz Wagner is the next pick off the board at number 44. I am down on Franz compared to others just because the Bane thing makes it a little squishy. I like the Daniels pick there at 45. That makes a lot of sense. Dyson last season was 38th. It is harder for him this season. Allegedly a full season of Jalen Johnson. The addition of Kristaps Porzingis. Jalen Green. Now you might want to know whether that's a good pick of Jalen Green. It's not. It's not terrible. Jalen last season in ESPN points, though, was 92nd. 92nd. So, I mean, maybe you consider it terrible. Even if we think that Jalen's going to improve, that's pick 46. It is just... Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Trey Murphy goes 48. Des Bane 49. Pretty sure I didn't have those guys really in this range. Honestly, again, the format of what you're doing becomes important. I had Bane in the 70s for this sort of a format. Levine goes next. I am also not particularly high on Zach Levine for this season. Which is good for my mock draft values here because there are guys going that I wouldn't have even considered. Although I do like the De'Aaron Fox pick there at number 50. I like the Brandon Miller pick at 53 as well. I'm going to be targeting somebody like... I think I'm going to have to take Porzingis, although I do have Morant. I'm going to put him into the queue. Vooch, Pritchard. These are options for me. Josh Hart at 50... okay. So, yeah. All right. What are we doing? Josh Hart was... to be fair, he was 40th last season. That is last season, though. So he's like at least got the runs on the board, but yeah, that 54, I'm not doing that. Vooch at 55 is an incredibly good pick, I think. There is risk of a late season meltdown. Midas takes Porzingis. There goes Kawhi Leonard. So now I need to decide what I am doing. What am I picking here? I'm going to go with a pick that's... Is it controversial? I'm going to take Peyton Pritchard here. Normally, I'll just let that ride a little bit more, but I'm just giving you an illustration of the value that I think that Peyton can have. Now, I do need to make sure I get a small forward because I don't have a small forward eligible player on my team at this point, which I will do in the next round. Tyler Hero goes next, who on a per-game basis really does give you value there. I'm also liking Walker Kessler and Jakob Poeltl in this area, but I do have center filled. I do need a small forward, but is the value of like a Kessler here, who was 59th per game last season, and we are getting around to what it'll be pick 63 for me. Is that enough of a gap? It probably isn't, honestly. Is Shaden Sharp small forward eligible on this site? He is. I want a small forward eligible. There goes quickly. Actually, the guy I want here is Julius Randle. I'm going to throw Ingram into the queue as well. Although, what about Asar Thompson? There goes Poeltl. I'm just going to do this draft. All right, I'm going to do this draft just showing you some values of guys, of how I view them. So, like, I think you can probably wait for Asar in a lot of different spots. I'll take him there. I would extract more value if I waited for him in round 8, but that's not really what I'm going to do here. Now, again, Randall would have been my guy there. I think Miles Bridges would have some sense. Even Walker Kessler is sliding here, so maybe we can get him on the flip back because that will definitely be enough space there. After Poeltl was me taking Asar at 63, Jarrett Allen 64 I don't like, Mark Williams 65 that's fine, and Alex Sarr at 66 I like quite a bit as well. Paul George at 67 is, especially for a team that drafted Embiid, is actually crazy. Look, George's per game value might be fine, but that's just a crazy combination to pair together. Now, your name is M. Diddy, so are you an Embiid fan? Because that is just... Larry Markkinen going next. These are picks that I do not like. I do not agree with the order that's happening here. I'm going to throw Shaden Sharp into my queue because I did like what we saw, and I've been pretty high on him all preseason. The other guy to throw in for me is Zach Edey, whose per-game numbers will be higher than actually where we are, I think. Oh, Kessler just went. That's annoying. So did Gobert. Now, I've got a center. I've got Mobley as center eligible, and I've got Giannis as center eligible, so I don't actually need to focus on centers at all. OG for me is a target too. I'm pretty happy. Julius Randle still available, which is a little surprising. Well, there you go. I was going to just put Miles Bridges in. He just went. Randle and Anunoby, I think, are falling too far here. We're in round 8 of this draft. It's a 10-team ESPN default point scoring league, by the way. Jordan Poole goes at 72. It's fine. It's possibly a little early. We're also moving into DeRozan territory. And honestly, we're moving into Buzelis territory. Pretty sure I hit that Q button. 10-team leagues, obviously, you get a lot of value. you should be swinging for the fences a lot towards the end because the waiver wire is going to be very full. So anyone who struggles, it's easier to drop them and get quite good players back. It is a little surprising to me to see Jalen Duren still there. It's a little surprising to me to see DeMar DeRozan still there. I am 4 picks away, and I'm pretty happy with the level of... Well, there goes DeRozan. I'm pretty happy with the level of selections that I'm going to end up with, I think. At least the options that I'm going to have. I think Anderson's done a pretty good job apart from that Jalen Green pick. Mikal Bridges is not one that I like there. It's not terrible, but I probably could have given you 10 names that I would have picked ahead of him, if not more. Michael Porter, podcast legend, number 76. Yeah, like per game, it does make sense, but you know, that's not always how this works, is it? OG, what did he do last season? He was 67th. Shaden Sharp's an interesting name. Ingram's an interesting name. I'm going to take an Anunoby there. And then I've got Sharp, Buzelis, and Ingram on the flip back. If I can get Brandon Ingram at pick 83, I will be very happy with that. Well, I can't because he just went, so L for me. 79 for Ingram is a pretty good pick. I might consider a Buzelis reach. Is it a reach? I don't know that it's a reach. I'm going to take Buzelis or Sharp. How many picks until mine? 4. Well, there goes Ayton, who was worth looking at that spot. Edie would be a name here, but he is too injured. I don't know if you want to consider TJ McConnell's injury bumping Nembhard a little bit. Marginal bump. Not a super bump, but a marginal bump. All right, there's 2 picks to go. Will Sharp and Buzelis be the 2 guys that go here? Well, it won't be because Rowan Barrett just went. And Rowan Barrett is a solid pick in this area. There are just other guys that I prefer. I'm going to go with Buzelis with my pick if he does not go here with Chris Silva. Chris, don't annoy me, man. Come on, Chrissy. You've got to be joking me. Let's take that. Honestly, that is dickhead behavior. There goes Buzelis, of course. I took Shaden Sharp at that selection, which is number 83. Hartenstein and Nembhard are names around this area. Cam Thomas, again, very much the same as Michael Porter. He could be good here, but like there's a lot of risk. Andy Nembhard, I like. I think Wiggins is interesting here. I think we're definitely getting into the why hasn't Onyeka Okongwu been drafted zone. I like the Tamani Kamara pick from you. Anderson as well. Again, your draft's been solid enough. I didn't like Bridges and I didn't like Jalen Green going there, though. Put Hartenstein into the queue also. CJ McCollum would make sense in this area if we weren't very worried about what happens with the Wizards. I'm also, if it gets back to me at my next pick, which is 98, I will take Edie. Again, it's a 10-team league. It's round 10. Edie has a chance to be top 60 per game in this format and maybe even top 50 once he's ramped back to full minutes. But given the fact that I'll just slide him into IR and the waiver wire is going to be pretty chunky, I don't mind going that little bit earlier there. So Norman Powell is 88. Hartenstein, 89. Hartenstein I like. Powell, I don't know. Cam Johnson's one that I do like coming up here as well. Superman goes at 91. Khalil Ware, Kevin Porter 90. Khalil Ware 91. I think that it's maybe a little high for Ivy. That's who I'm putting in my queue. A little high for Ware. Again, that is clearly influenced by 2 ginormous games in the preseason, but there are some factors involved in that, obviously. Drew Holiday is fine. I think that's a reasonable pick. I think he's going to do more in Portland than he did in Boston, and obviously Scoot is out to start the season. So I've got a decent list of names here. Edie is the guy that I'm going to target if he gets to me in 5 picks. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But I've got quite a sizable list of backups. Bradley Beal there. There's just, like, can he be this guy? Like, maybe. But there's just a lot of risk associated with Beal, with injuries. He's got a knee irritation at the moment. I don't mind getting Beal in the hundreds or in the 9s. It's okay, though. I just think there's like 6, 7 guys left that you could grab pretty easily over him. There goes Andy Wiggins, which is a solid, if not low upside pick. It's a little surprising to see Okongwu fall this far. Well, there he goes. at number 95. Edie's my guy there, but I think Jaden Ivey's also moving into... Don Klingon goes. Jaden Ivey's moving into a zone here. The Klingon pick is good. I like the Klingon pick. These are all the top of my list, guys. I get the feeling that old mate Chris Silver could... Oh, no, it's not his pick. All right, let's do Edie there. I know he's out, but I'm happy to stash him with my 10th pick, my last active slot, move him into the bench, and then with who I think is available here, I'm pretty happy to do someone who I think's got, like, again, fantasy playoff top 50 upside maybe for Edie. And it gives me that chance to take that extra swing because of the shallowness of this league. And yeah, gives you a lot of waiver wire guys. I will be targeting Ivy with my next pick. I think Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson and Naz Reid are also good options. And we are also getting into Reid Shepherd zones. So after Edie goes the thick Hogsman, Tobias Harris, which is a totally reasonable pick here. Is it exciting? No, it's a thick Hogsman. He's not that exciting. But it is relatively stable as a pick. Now, he took some maybe risky ones with Buzelis and Ingram and Hero earlier on. So if his dickhead takes Jaden Ivey, bro. All right, let's recalibrate. I haven't really grabbed Cam Johnson anywhere. So do I do that? Derek Lively in this area too. Should go. There goes Aaron Gordon at 101. We're in the bench now. So Claxton, I'm also going to just add him there. We're in, like, let's take flyers on guys territory. So maybe that means a Reid Shepherd, a Ben Mathurin. Well, there you go. I can't take Mathurin. Now, what do I do here? Like the slightly risky one there is Edie. Maybe there's a risk on Sharp. I'm just going to take... God, Naz Reid has fallen a lot, but I'm going to take Cam Johnson there. Give me the starter minute upside. But Reid is a pretty solid pick here. Reid Shepherd and Naz Reid both really solid around this area. There goes Nick Claxton, which is also a pick that I do like there. So I've only got 2 picks left. It is surprising to see Naz fall this far. Christian Brown at 106, not as good in the points league format than he is in category leagues, but doesn't mean that it doesn't work. I think that I like that pick of Keegan. I'm going to throw Nemesh Cater into the queue also. And I'm a little surprised that no one has jumped on Reid Shepherd yet. Little surprised. Santiel Dharma should also start to go soon. Isaiah Jackson maybe is a flyer that someone takes. M. Diddy, you've done the Embiid-George combo. What else can you do here? Well, man, that team is so risky, man. Embiid and George, Josh Hart early, McCollum there, Jesus Christ. Keontae George is actually a pick that I like, even though it was auto picks. I don't know whether you actually made it or not. But, man, they are some picks. D'Angelo Russell is at 108. Yeah, like, whatever, man. Like, I think there are better picks than that. Tari Eason goes next. I was not impressed with Eason's production yesterday, but I do think that he has a pretty solid opportunity. Well, I like what you did there, July, baby. You took Naz Reid and John Collins on the turn, both solid picks. Kuminga, yeah, I get it. I am very concerned about how much Kerr is going to play him, just given what we've seen so far in preseason, all of the animosity with the team. Jalen Suggs at 113. Yes, you can stash him. Is he a good points league guy? Like, not particularly. Probably could have found another 15 guys there I would have preferred, honestly. But Suggs is a very good player. It's just going to be a challenge. And again, this remains incredibly surprising to me. Now, he's an Ace Bailey goes. Wow. It is incredibly surprising to me that Reid Shepherd has not gone. Now, I will not get my hopes up because I don't think he makes it to me. That Ace Bailey pick, fine. I actually like it there. Other guys I would have taken, absolutely, but I like it there. There goes Zach Ricochet. I am wanted to take upside players here. That's why I've got Shepherd and Cater in the queue. I will also throw a Lively in there. There goes Santiel Dharma. Am I going to get Reid Shepherd here? We're 1 pick away. I might. I'll be very happy with that. I don't even know if he's going to start, but like, there is legit top 80 upside. Let's just do it. Reid Shepherd. I've seen him go at 100 in a lot of drafts. That is, I'm very happy to get that there. And I want to get maybe with my final pick. Do I want to take Nemesh Do I take Isaiah Jackson? Not probably in this format, honestly. Just a bit too shallow. He'll miss some games. Jay Huff before Isaiah Jackson is not what I have been seeing. Cam Whitmore should be a decision that people make soon. Oubre. What is going on? Oubre at 120. Kyrie. Now, obviously, he's out for a long time. It's just not one that I'm super into. Well, should I take Cater? All right, let's take Namesh Cater there. And that's my draft. Edie a flyer, Shepherd a flyer, Cater a flyer. A little early on Asar, a little early on Pritchard. But I think that gives you an indication of how I'm valuing some of these guys. I'm happy with how the team looks. I'm happy with how it projects. This guy took Isaiah Jackson, which is a good pick there as well from you, Case. Lively should be going here. I am surprised that Steph Castle has not gone yet. Where did Castle finish in ESPN points last season? 70th over the last 5 games of the year, but 144th overall. As much taking Bub Carrington over Steph Castle is not a move that I understand at all. I don't get that in the slightest. As much as I'm not a Castle guy, I could have easily taken him over Cater. I don't understand that. I don't understand Edgecombe over Castle, honestly. I don't understand Oubre over Castle. After Carrington goes Bob Portis, which is a pretty reasonable spot. There goes Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis over Castle makes no sense in a points format at all. Like, none. I don't get that. Like, DiVincenzo's sitting there. Devin Vassell is sitting there. Castle and Vassell together annoys me. Wendell Carter. What? No, we're not doing that. That is terrible. Pajemski, I don't even know that I would do that. I might do that, but like, holy crap, there is a lot available here. And DeAndre Hunter with the last pick. Guys, this is a 10-team league. It is incredibly shallow. Scoot Henderson, not drafted. Derek Lively, available. Cam Whitmore, Devin Vassell, DiVincenzo, Malik Monk, Aaron Neesmith, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Schroeder, Jaden McDaniels, Ty Jerome, Steph Castle, Isaiah Collier, maybe, Jabari Smith. There's a lot there. My team, picking at 3, Giannis, followed by Tyrese Maxey, Evan Mobley, Demetrius Morant, Miles Turner, Peyton Pritchard, Asar Thompson, OG Anunoby, Shaden Sharp, Zach Edey, Cam Johnson, Reed Shepherd, and Namesh Keita, the Pastel Donata. I am happy with how my team looks. It projects to be first or second. Let me have a look. Second, largely just due to games played because of Zach Edey, but that's okay. I'd be pretty confident that I would beat Anderson, who had the highest projected team. If we matched up number 1, July Baby at number 3, Chris Silver 4, Midas, Harden Goat. What team is Harden Goat? I don't think I called that name out at all, so I don't actually know what that team is because someone changed their name. I think that might be VSAM. Yeah, that's VSAM, Harden Goat. Case, Zieno, I'm Bucker Mike, and M. Diddy, not surprisingly, projected last largely because of some of the reaches and the games played. Zieno says, I grabbed a couple of guys early, but I don't think it was terrible. It wasn't my favorite draft, Zieno, but it was okay. Let me have a look at how your team... Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it was fun. It was a good... Josh is going to hammer my 3rd round Cooper Flagg pick. Yeah, it was too early for this format. But overall, July Baby, I think you did well. I think overall the draft was interesting. There were some picks that didn't make sense for the format in my mind. But also, whatever. It's okay. I think we had fun. Guys, that's another mock draft done for today. We've got one more team left in the team preview series as well. So stick around for that. Hit a hype if you're watching on the YouTube app. Thumb it up, subscribe, audio and video. You know we all love a double bang over here. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.